Coming up next, it's a UFC heavyweight division collision. Well, there is no denying this man's striking credentials. Prevailing wisdom is he's going to try to keep this fight standing tonight.
He has to. You know, this is what got him to the show. It was being able to use the hands to set up the kicks. We all talk about the high-level boxing background of this young man. But as he's developed great knees.
Yeah.
He's developed great timing, great counter skills, and also the beautiful right high kick. The right high kick is something he hides very well as he follows with a jab, right hand, left hook. High kick comes over the top, and he can put you to sleep.
No doubt about it. He will try to put on a striking clinic once again here tonight. Well, this is exciting here, DC. The founder of Jeet Kune Do, one of the founding fathers, really, of mixed martial arts, Bruce Lee, is back in a big spot here tonight.
Bruce Lee is what every kid looked to when they thought about doing karate. Bruce Lee is the person that anyone looked at when they said, I want to be a fighter. It was the speed. It was the charisma. It was the approach of Bruce Lee that made him so special. And tonight, he's going to look to show a new generation of fighters exactly how it's supposed to be done.
And if you hear the phrase, drillers make killers, right? I mean, that was Bruce Lee in a nutshell. He felt like practice would make perfect. Nobody trained as hard as the great Bruce Lee. Our tale of the tape for this heavyweight fight. More than a decade separates these two fighters when it comes to the age, with some differences in height, but the same reach. All right, now to get us started, here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Yves Loving. And now, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the sold-out Madison Square Garden Arena in New York City, it's time! 5 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a kickboxer, making his professional debut here tonight. He stands 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 238 pounds. Fighting out of Tokyo, Japan, Pistol. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, making his professional debut here tonight. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 145 pounds. Fighting out of Los Angeles, California, Bruce the Dragon Lee!
Okay, protect yourself at all time, obey my command at all time. If you want to touch love, do it now, go back to your corner.
The fighters touch him up.
You ready? Are you ready?
Well, there have been a lot of seminal UFC moments inside the world's most famous arena, and we are back at Madison Square Garden tonight, Shaquille.
Who gets that shining moment in the world's greatest arena? I experienced it. I know how it feels to walk out of that octagon at MSG with a championship. Will you get that moment tonight?
Well, perhaps a sign of things to come as he lands a kick there.
Nice kick landed by this gentleman.
Single collar tie here. Some fighters shy away from checking a leg kick. Check that one.
Nice body kick right under the elbow.
Relax. Keep your hands up for me.
Beautiful leg kick thrown.
Just unable to quite find that range. He is all about that left kick to the body.
Look at the skip action that allows you to land that big knee.
Oh, nice knee to the body, very nice.
He understands that doing the body work will pay dividends the longer the fight goes. You gotta check these low leg kicks.
And they're exchanging leather early. Oh, a little single collar tie there.
Look at him working at trying to shut the liver down.
Very nice outside leg kick by him there, DC. We'll see if he follows it up here.
He's really driving his shin into his opponent's thigh, beating his leg up. Beautiful body. Beautiful punch. Big head kick lands.
So he's really starting to put together some significant body shots here. These are going to take their toll as this fight goes on. All right, single collar tie now. Oh, he stunned him with that knee to the head. Oh!
I mean, look at the commitment to kicking in this fight.
Oh, that's a beautiful left hand counter.
Beautiful head kick. Big, powerful punch lands. Now he gets back to range.
And both guys really throwing with authority.
I mean, he's cutting them down to size with these beautiful leg kicks.
Stuffs the takedown, no problem. All right, he engages in the single collar tie. Ooh, big knee. Strong defense there to block the shot. Nice instincts. Oh, straight right. Not there. Try to establish that jab. All right, so both fighters now sort of struggling for position here in the clinch. When you find yourself in this situation, what do you do to get out of it?
Anytime it's very tough, anytime you're chest to chest and you have nowhere to go, I think to myself, underhook. Whoever's winning the underhook is winning the clinch battle. He's throwing every part of himself into these big leg kicks.
And he landed the right hand there.
Head kick lands.
Oh, an obvious limp there. His leg hurting for certain. Goes back to that left kick once again. All right, so a nice shot there defensively to raise the guard and prevent any damage.
Those hands never leave where they're supposed to be. And if you do that, most times you will block a shot that's incoming.
Now he engages in a Muay Thai clinch. You better protect that head.
Great job securing the Muay Thai clinch. Watch for big knees to the body and eventually him switch it up with a big knee to the head.
Got the single collar tie.
Look at how he turns his hip over when he throws that kick. Beautiful body kick.
All right, he engages in a single collar tie here. Oh, he's got it going now. Nice connection there, DC.
Another punch lands.
5 minutes in the books. All right, now we check out some of the action from that previous round, DC. How about the display of striking?
Just high level. I mean, you would think that we're watching a K1 level kickboxing match opposed to being in the UFC. Both displayed great technical skills, unbelievable striking.
All right, round 2 is now upon us. Pretty competitive first 5 minutes, I thought.
It's exactly what we expected. We expected when we saw this on the match sheet that these two guys were evenly matched. Let's see who really takes control as we go into the second round.
Well, not much setup behind it. The right hook misses. Oh, massive head kick there. We'll see if he can finish. Visibly limping here. Oh, collar tie. Ooh, now he's got the tie plum, Daniel. If you're on the other side, what are you trying to do to get out of this potentially dangerous position?
You got to start digging your shoulder to a side and trying to shove an underhook. You cannot bend down to try to get out of Muay Thai clinch.
Oh, buckled him there. Beautiful shot to the body.
Big punch lands over the top. How's he going to follow this one up?
All right, come on. Hold your ground. I need you to go.
Oh, and that kick is blocked.
Look at him whip his hip into that kick.
Oh, body kick attempt here. It's no good. They continue to exchange. Single collar tie now.
Nice loop punch.
Trying to hammer that lead legs. All right, he closes the distance, gets the single collar tie. Just over 3 minutes to go. Nice counter shot there. Well, he's really picked up the pace here in round 2. Much more aggressive now here and starting to find himself in the pocket.
Ooh, what a punch. Watch these to the body. Look at him chopping the wood. Chop the wood with those leg kicks.
All right, he'll engage in a single collar tie. Oh, eats a knee to the head. Some nice power there with the left hook upstairs. Oh, and he tags him with the straight hand there. Beautifully done by Lee. Sound defensively blocks the shot.
Nice leg kick. Liver kick, if you take those kicks, it's going to shut your body off. Nice punch lands over the top.
All right, well, he's landed some good shots tonight, but there's no three-piece, there's no soda. More often than not, it's one and done.
He's not even getting a combination. I mean, if you're going to sit there at the drive-thru, order a combination, take the soda with your food, give him the right hand behind the jab, give him the hook behind the right hand. Jab, right hand, hook. That's 2 pieces of chicken and a biscuit. Finish him off with the uppercut. That is your soda. I mean, come on, man. Let this guy have the whole thing.
Oh, single collar tie here. Back and forth we go.
Good stick.
Trying to go to the body now with the kick. That one misses.
Oh, man, head kick lands. Look at the whip action that comes from him throwing that kick.
Goes back to the high kick now, and he lands again. Knee strike coming, it is blocked. Oh, and he continues to pour it on. We mentioned earlier the aggression with his striking. Got to be careful to not gas out here, but at least you have to admire the approach. Stuffs the takedown there. How good is his takedown defense? Knee to the body, and they clinch once again. Lee gets caught with that punch. Don't be takedown defense holds up.
Ooh, head kick lands. He's hurt.
Trying to establish that jab once again. 10 minutes in the books. All right, so let us now check out some of the action in that round, DC. There was a whole lot of it, including a stunner upstairs that nearly closed the show.
It was a lot of action. It was back and forth action, but the big moment was that big strike to the head that landed, that put him on wobbly legs, and in survival mode, luckily he made it to the end of that round.
All right, so back-to-back entertaining rounds. We'll see how it goes in this round. We'll see which corner sort of maximize those 60 seconds on the score.
This is what happens. Very skilled, very evenly matched fighters coming together. Nobody has really taken the lead in this fight. Let's see who does it going into the next one.
Well, just as he did in the previous round, he continues to connect on a high volume of strikes. And a good sign, too, doesn't seem to be slowing down whatsoever.
Big head kick.
Oh, a little single collar tie there.
Oh, that's a nice strike. Clinch position. Look for the opponent to try to circle off of the cage.
And now he engages in a Muay Thai clinch, and I think a lot of people... Whoa!
He's in trouble. He's hurt bad.
Trying to stay in this fight! Ooh, nice knee to the body. Very nice.
Nice leg kick land.
Oh, straight right. Oh, lands another beautiful strike to the body, really starting to connect at will when it comes to working the body, and especially effective doing it later in this fight. Didn't see a lot of that from him in the earlier rounds. Oh, and there's a land with the kick, so certainly a good sign for him there.
When that's working, you know he's in for a good night.
That strike blocked by Lee. Oh, vicious kick to the outside of that lead leg. You got to start checking these, man.
You got to check these kicks, or you're going to be limping around the octagon very shortly.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Get you.
Lee gets touched by that kick to the body. All right, single collar tie now. Well, it's all pace and pressure down the stretch. He is really lighting him up now. Oh, and he lands another punch there, and you can tell at this point, he is going right at that cut on his opponent.
Right at the cut on the eye, just making sure he knows that I'm going to be targeting it. Keep your hands up, and when the hands go up, he will then change the target down low, trying to find finishes. Big kick.
Checks the leg kick. Man, look at the redness now almost immediately on the right side of his body. Back to the well with that right hand, it's no good. Oh, nice punch there by Lee.
Oh, nice.
Well, he keeps going back to the well with that left hand, just out of range. Working hard here against the fence. We'll see if he can get the takedown. Looks like his leg is hurt here. You can even see him limping a little bit.
Keep the pressure on. Everything's landing.
He has a commitment to kicking tonight, and it shows.
Oh, bone on bone, shin slash foot, right to the skull. You see why I'm a commentator and not a fighter? You see why?
Yeah, those aren't fun. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, looks a little wobbly on his feet.
He needs to start looking to finish now because he's got his opponent hurt very bad.
Big elbow there. Now goes in and secures the takedown. All right, well, both fighters pretty comfortable on the ground, DC, but you got to be very careful hanging out here for too long if you're his opponent. Lands a strike now from the bottom. Nice work there by Lee. All right, half guard position for him here, and I can hear Dominic Cruz in the back of my head just screaming about underhooks somewhere.
Yeah, he loved, but he's right? He's so right in terms of if you're on your back in the half guard, one thing you can't be is flat on your back. You need to be up on an elbow. Right. You need to be half on the side, and you need to control the far side underhook. It is a battle for underhook when you're fighting in the half guard position on the mat. That one snuck in. Nice strike.
Able to land there with the straight left.
Sneaky head kick.
Final final seconds of round 3. That's 3 rounds in the can. We're headed to the championship rounds. All right, no telestrator for the champ tonight, but that's okay. He'll still talk you through the replays. Body kicks for days, man.
I mean, body kicks for days, but I got to be honest, John. If we don't incorporate a telestrator into this game, this may be my only version of EA UFC.
All right, here we go as our next round gets underway. His strong leg packs so much power that even when he doesn't throw it full throttle, you see he's able to inflict damage. We'll see if he can do it here.
He doesn't throw it full power, but even when he feints it, he draws out reactions from his opponents because they don't want to get hit with any more of those kicks. It's a sight to behold.
Well, not only has he stayed aggressive as he was in the previous round, landing a high volume of strikes, but he's also been efficient, not just with his strikes, but also with his body movement. Complete performance out of this fighter here tonight. And once again, looking for that highlight reel KO with that front kick.
Big punch lands. Ooh. Big body kick.
Some fighters don't check a lot of leg kicks. That one was checked.
Big kick lands.
Nice straight right lands.
Look at him drive his shin into his opponent's body with that body kick. That's a big strike right there.
Man, look at his torso. That just can't feel good. Look at the size of that bruise on his body, and you got to think his opponent is going to continue to attack that area. Nice knee to the midsection there. Oh, big roundhouse attempt, but unable to land.
Look at him whip his hip into that kick.
Both fighters exchange in the pocket here.
Great posture control by his opponent.
Oh, tagged him with that right hand. What a strike that was.
What a strike that he was landing over and over again. His opponent will need to make some adjustments. Good punch. Inches right there, boy. Wow. It was good night if that landed.
All right, he engages in the single collar tie.
Can't take many of those. You better check. Oh, man, that leg's all beat up. You can really limit the mobility of your opponent with those leg kicks.
And he comes through with a big knee.
Look at how he turns his hip into that leg kick.
And he caught the kick. We'll see what he can do with it.
Nice diversity in the attack. Huge elbow lands from the clinch.
90 seconds to go. Oh, and he finally gets the takedown now. So what do they say? Try again.
If at first you don't succeed, you try again. And this guy is the poster boy for that saying, because he shot many takedown attempts and he finally has secured one.
All right, working inside the closed guard now. All right, bottom fighter here, maybe looking to hip escape, DC. Well, hard to win fights in mixed martial arts from the bottom, but nice work here in that position by Lee.
Nice strike. body kicks.
Oh, nice slip to avoid that right hand.
Head
Some
kick.
nice back and forth action here.
Ooh, what a punch.
Horn sounds for the end of round 4. All right, so a huge round for him there. His opponent will need Motrin tomorrow. A lot of head kicks in that previous 5 minutes.
He took way too many head kicks. He was trying to go forward. He was trying to pressure. And when he was doing that, he was carrying his hands low. And his opponent was just wrapping that kick up and over the side of his guard. Credit to his opponent for finding this shot, but really bad on him for not really making the adjustment to stop it.
You ready? You ready?
5th and final round. Oh, huge block.
Punch over the top.
Trying to kick the leg out. Got the single collar tie. His leg is hurt here. You can see him limping a little bit. Well, he continues to offer up the kick here, but just misses with that one.
Big head kick lands.
Well, that body kick was there earlier, not there on that attempt. Punch coming, it's blocked. All right, he engages in a single collar tie here. Oh, he dove with the punch and he lands.
Let's go. Get him off you. Get him off.
All right, he's trying to control posture here. Now trying to hip escape.
He's just trying to move out of this position off the bottom.
Lee's got his back now. Let's see what he can do with it. Well, you know, I don't like the gi very much, but I have an appreciation and a healthy one for these type of transitions.
You can tell he's been in a gi at some point in his life with the way that he moves so freely.
I'm skipping jiu-jitsu next week, too.
Nice straight punch.
He missed with that jab attempt there.
Leg kick.
Under 3 minutes now to go in the fight. Whoa! Oh, he's got him hurt here. Man, it doesn't take much for the redness to start. Look at the left side of his body there. Nasty.
You take more of these leg kicks, you will not be able to be very active on your feet.
Connects with a right. Oh, collar tie. Both shots to the body and with some sting on him in the clinch by Lee.
Liver kick.
Hard shots landing on both sides here. Lee gets caught with that punch. Gotta shore up the defense here.
You don't know if that leg kick's coming.
Unbelievable.
He went high on that one. That one was thrown to end the fight.
Yep. Combinations here. Nice punch by Lee.
Oh, he's hurt bad. He's hurt bad, Johnny. He's got to press him. He's got to go chase that finish down now.
And just inches away from landing one of those big right hands. Slips to avoid the right. Man, is he timing his shots well here tonight, DC. It's hard to recall him being this accurate in the past.
I mean, he is so sharp. And not only is he accurate, he's also keeping very busy. Nice punch there.
Less than a minute now to go in the round. Single collar tie now. Oh, good knees here, DC. If you're on the wrong end of those knees, what are you doing to adjust?
I mean, you got to be getting out of those positions where he's kneeing you. You got to be keeping those hands a little bit low to protect the body. You got to just really, truly be working the entire time you guys are in close.
Seconds left. 15 seconds.
What a punch.
Oh, wow! Oh, he might be out. The final horn sounds. All right, so the fight goes the distance as we await the judges' scorecards, but certainly a dominant striking effort out of that fighter tonight.
John, he used his best weapons in order to carry him to a decision, a very clear decision, in my opinion. A great performance tonight by this young fighter.
The official decision is in. Bruce Buffer has it.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 50-45, 49-46, and 49-46. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Bruce the Dragon Lee!
Well, he did not get the finish that he certainly prioritized when we sat down with him at our fighter meeting, but a win is a win. He gets it done by unanimous decision.
And he said he wanted to finish, but sometimes your opponent's not willing to play the game. In those instances, all you can do is control what you can control, and that's fight to the best of your